Friends, welcome to a new lesson of the Four Men Mastery. Today, we are going to dig even deeper into your mission and your purpose, into why you are here on this earth and what you want to do with your life. Today, we will specifically be writing out your values, your vision, and a broader, more global mission statement. This exercise, this tool, it was first introduced back in 2016, and since then, the values, vision, and mission that came out of that session have hardly changed. The numbers used to measure progress and achievement have changed, but the overall vision for life has remained the same for 6 years. And every time motivation starts to slip away, coming back to this document brings it right back. Every time a new idea appears and the question arises of whether to pursue it or not, this is where the answer lives. Because your values, your vision, and your mission are a filter. They are a filter for your state, for the direction you are heading in. You steer your life with them, and they guide every significant decision you make. That's why what we are doing today will become your main source of motivation, your primary sense of direction, and the central filter for any action you take. So why do we need to write down our values, vision, and mission? There is one word that captures it all: desire. Because when you have these things written down and written out correctly, every time you return to them, you'll feel a genuine desire to do something with your life. The desire to act, to move forward, not to stop, not to settle for what you have already achieved, but to keep working, keep building, and keep living life to the fullest, until you fulfill your mission and your vision in full alignment with your values. Number 1, values. First and foremost, you need to write down your values. What are values? It's not the most obvious concept at first, but once the right definition clicks into place, it immediately becomes clear what should go on the list. Values are simply what is valuable to you, what matters most in your life, the foundational concepts that you cherish above everything else. Why is it important to write them down and to know them? For 2 key reasons. First, what you value is exactly what will motivate you to take action. If something is genuinely important to you, you'll naturally want to think about how to achieve or protect it. Second, if you know what is truly valuable to you, it'll sit at the top of your priorities. So when you face a decision in life, whether to choose the first option or the second, your values will allow you to make the right call, rather than simply the comfortable one. When sitting down back in 2016 to write out this list of values, in an unfinished house, working in what was essentially a bare, unfurnished room, the starting point was a series of honest questions. What do I want? What's important to me? What absolutely must be present in my world? What am I not willing to accept? For example, one thing that was simply not acceptable was the idea of spending an entire life working somewhere without enjoyment or purpose. That conviction was directly reflected in the values that were written down. As an example, here is a list of values, not in any particular order, to give you a sense of what this looks like. 1. Influence. 2. Success. 3. Self-development. 4. Family. 5. Freedom. 6. God. These 6 values form the foundation of a vision, a mission, and a set of life goals. For you, this list will look completely different. For some people, the most important value might be health. For others, security. For some, it's comfort. For others, adventure. But what matters is that you write down at least 3 to 5 values that are genuinely yours. Not borrowed ideals, not socially approved concepts, but the things you would fight for, work toward, and refuse to compromise on. Number 2, vision. Now this is where it gets truly interesting. This is your vision. Here you need to define what kind of person you want to become, the best version of yourself in the areas that matter most to you. Who are you at your best? What do people say about you? How do people remember you? All of this should be captured in your vision. It concerns only you. It's the portrait of the best you could possibly become, something that, when you read it, should inspire and motivate you to keep striving for the level you have set for yourself. To give you a sense of the format, here's an example of how a vision might sound. I'm one of the most inspiring people on the planet. The example of my success motivates and inspires others to take action and live meaningful, fulfilling lives. When someone is around me, they feel motivated. They see an example of masculinity, strength, willpower, character, and the right values. Being near me makes them want to become better. I have realized the full potential and willpower that God has given me. That's the kind of format a vision can take. For each of you, the content will be: Number 3. Mission. When you have your values and your vision, it's time for your mission. In the previous lesson, we defined just one line, a single direction, a vector. Today, we're going to expand on that significantly, making it much more specific. Here is the distinction. A vision is something abstract. It's inspiring, but it lacks specifics. It describes who you should become, not what you need to accomplish. The mission, on the other hand, is what you need to achieve, the concrete things you must accomplish, expressed in numbers, in specific titles, in clearly defined milestones that will bring you as close as possible to your vision. When writing your mission based on your vision, focus on 3 things. First, the level of achievement. What are you striving for? What do you want to accomplish? State it clearly and ambitiously. Second, the work. What'll help you get there? What actions, disciplines, and efforts will you commit to? This is the ongoing work you will perform in pursuit of your goals. Third, the indicator of achievement. What's the specific measurable factor that confirms a goal has been reached? Thanks to the work you do, this is the concrete marker that makes progress visible and real. As an example of how values become a vision and a vision becomes a mission, here is what a mission statement might look like. I'll become a top blogger in the field of fitness and self-development with an international audience of 20 million people, creating content that motivates, inspires, and helps. I'll build a physique that inspires others to train and become better. I'm constantly developing my skills as a coach, speaker, marketer, and businessman. Having created a series of businesses that inspire and help people become better, I'll generate a combined income of $1 million per month. By living my best life, I glorify God. That's how a mission looks when it is grounded in a vision. Specific numbers, clear definitions, and unmistakable direction. You can look at it after 5, 7, 10, or 20 years and honestly assess where you stand. Then you refine it. Raise the numbers, adjust the metrics, add something or remove something. These documents are living and flexible, but they absolutely must exist. Your values, vision, and mission as a filter. One of the most practical uses of what you have written is as a filter for decisions. When a new idea comes along, you return to your values, vision, and mission and ask, does this fit? Does this help me move toward what truly matters to me? Or am I just grabbing onto it right now, going to spend a tremendous amount of time on it, only to realize later that it actually works against my own values, that it brings me no closer to my vision, that in some ways I've actually harmed my own vision by pursuing it? The same applies when you are thinking about what kind of content to create, what direction to take your work in, or what products to build and launch. Rather than chasing whatever is trending in the moment, you come back here and look at what truly matters. Your values, your vision, and your mission become the filter for what to do, how to do it, what to create, and how to create it. This applies to everyone, friends. A vision, a mission, and your values don't need to be grand or globally ambitious. First and foremost, they must be something that inspires you. Take a simple example. If you work at McDonald's, how does all of this apply? You go to work, and perhaps you think, that's just what it is. I simply show up and do what I do. But what happens if you write down your values, your vision, and your mission, and frame your work in a way that reflects the best version of yourself in that role? Your mission might look something like this. I'm the best employee on this team. Everyone is struck by how punctual I'm, how precise and efficient my actions are, how much heart I bring to every shift. I greet people with a genuine smile, serve them with full attention, and leave every customer feeling better than when they arrived. Imagine writing that down and reading it every morning before you leave for work. With what enthusiasm would you walk through that door? With what sense of purpose would you carry out every task? Your performance would be transformed. And from there, what heights could you reach? This framework applies to any profession, any field, and anything you want to create in your life. It doesn't matter what the arena is. What matters is that you have written something that is genuinely yours, and that it inspires you every time you read it. Your assignment, friends, find the nearest available time block, a period when no one will distract you and no one will disturb you, and dedicate it fully to this lesson. Write out your values, your vision, and your mission. This is the best thing you can do for yourself today, because from here, a completely new chapter can begin. you can move forward into your life with clarity, with direction, and with the kind of burning motivation that you can see in someone's eyes when they're doing exactly what they were meant to do. In the next lesson, we will take everything written here and make sure it's reflected in both your long-term and short-term goals, so that every single day, every single decision brings you measurably closer to making it all real. Write everything down, friends. Let's move forward.